When I heard that news about not being able to drink the water, that my first thought was I got to move, okay, because I have a weakened immune system. So my first thought was, yeah, I got to move from here.
Nearly 10 years later, people are sharing what they remember going through during the Toledo water crisis of 2014. We want you to know there are no issues with our water right now, but our team here at WTOL 11 is committed to protecting our water. We want to hear from you. Send us a video of you sharing your memories during the water crisis 10 years ago. You could text it now to 419-248-1100 and make sure to include the word water to get a link directly to our coverage online now. Now, since the water crisis, keeping the lake clean has been a top of mind for a lot of people. One of those people is Mike Ferner, who joins us now. Mike, you've been pretty outspoken about getting more regulations in place to keep the lake in better health. You're with the Lake Erie Advocates. Also, if people are familiar with your name in the area, city councilman, ran for mayor. You've been involved in local politics. It seems like the county is getting more involved now. I don't know if you're coordinating everything, but it seems we're moving in the right direction, but you probably are not happy with that going fast enough.
Well, it's not going fast enough, and the big problem, Dan, is that where the county is going with the lawsuit, and I give them a lot of credit for being in the lawsuit, first of all, but we're not going to fix this problem through the courts because the EPA has been so hamstrung by Supreme Court decisions and a lot of different things, ever since it was instituted in 1972. The power of the Farm Bureau and that lobby is so strong that we're not going to be able to clean up Lake Erie doing the little half steps that the law is going to allow the EPA to do. So that's why we pulled out of that lawsuit. We were the first plaintiffs in it. When the law firm from Chicago was looking for a plaintiff so they could get standing, nobody else, no other environmental groups, no other institutions wanted to be plaintiffs. But we said, okay, we'll be plaintiffs. And we were in it for 4 years. And we learned that the law is just not going to take care of the problem the way we were hoping it would. So we pulled out because we didn't want to be part of it. We said, we've come to the conclusion that the only way Lake Erie is going to get healthy again is to go back to pre-factory farm agriculture, which was only in the mid-90s. Nobody stood in line waiting for eggs or milk.
What was the generation that, factory farms, CAFOs, concentrated animal factories, where they'll have 10,000 head of cattle, hogs, whatever, and they're raising them for food, and the problem is getting rid of all that manure. And there's a place out in Northwest Ohio in the corner of the state that has a mountain of manure, and this stuff gets leaked into our waters and streams, eventually into Lake Erie.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of animals here before the factory farms came in. We had a lot of animals.
Changed?
Well, what changed was we went from family farm-run operations to these mega farms, and in order to have that kind of operation work, it's got to be industrialized. So you don't just go clean the barn out with a hog barn or the pig barn with a pitchfork and put it in a wagon and it goes out in the field. It's all liquid. And they put it in these tankers and they spray it and spray it and spray it some more on the fields, and it goes right down to the tiles that are under all of the fields around here because it used to be the Great Black Swamp. It goes down into those tiles and out into the waterways.
Did you think we had a problem? Okay, 2014 is when it got our attention. Perhaps you were already involved with water, keeping an eye on that, but it changed everything. And I know you're not a big fan of H2 Ohio, the governor has been implementing with farming, with normal farmers, with make the corn and the soybeans, that kind of thing. But at least it has everyone's attention now. Everybody, media, everybody has their attention. But there's a long way to go until we address the CAFO issue.
Well, there is, and it does have everybody's attention, and part of the reason it does is because the taxpayers are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on things like H2 Ohio, and so it seems like, well, something must be happening. But when you look at the condition of the lake and you do the measurements on the dissolved phosphates that's out there, people like Jeff Reuter, who were expert on this for, he spent his whole career doing this for OSU, he'll tell you, there's no improvement.
And you see no progress at all in the last 10 years?
It's gotten worse. Now we can drink the water. We don't have to worry about that because we've put $500 million into cleaning up into upgrading the water treatment plant. But there's at least 4 million more animals in our watershed than there were 10 years ago, at least, probably more than that. So we've got 30 million animals in these confined, and it's bad on the lake and it's terrible on the animals. So it's a form of agriculture that we have to rethink and start putting the subsidies that go into the factory farms into people who want to do sustainable agriculture.
We have 30 seconds left. I know the motto is Lake Erie is not a toilet. How many millions of gallons of manure is being pumped into the lake, do you believe?
It's in the billions every year.
More than the combined number of cities like Chicago and St. Louis?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's Ohio, Indiana, Chicago, and Atlanta. That's the amount of phosphorus from those animals that's going in there, and it's just spread on the fields, goes right into the tiles and into the river. So,
Mike Ferner, keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Dan.
for coming in today.